Am I wrong for calling my sister-in-law a bad mother? My brother and his wife have 6 kids under the age of 14. I never felt like she connected with their 4th kid, who is 6. You'd think he's not related to her based on how she acts with him and the other kids. My brother is aware of this and tries to make up by giving him extra attention. Recently, she uploaded pictures of all of their kids on IG and thinks that she's grateful about them. Except the 4th kid, Charlie. I left a comment about it and it pissed her off. She confronted me about it at a family get-together and I asked her what kind of mother leaves out one of their kids. Especially on IG where everything is fake and picture perfect. Seriously, I'm interested. She said it was none of my business and I said it's cool because she's just a bad mother. It shows. She knows it. Our family knows it. I'm just a concerned uncle. My brother had the nerve to defend her and say how she was depressed and dealing with serious stuff. So I asked him why does she treat him like the red-headed stepchild? Ironically, Charlie has blonde hair, blue eyes, and my brother and sister-in-law both have black hair and brown eyes like their other 5 sons. Am I wrong for changing my Netflix password to keep my sister from spoiling movies for me? Half-year ago, my sister Marta, 20-year-old female, moved in with me to save some money. Most of the time, we get along well, though it's a new situation for both of us as we hadn't lived together since we were teenagers. I have a Netflix account and I'm the only person paying for it. Out of courtesy, I let my sister use it and shared my password with her. It worked pretty well, especially since we watched most of shows together anyway. She was only using it by herself when she was watching something I didn't want to watch. Few weeks ago, my work schedule changed and now I'm at home at totally different hours than my sister. Given so, we spend far less time together. She also started to watch TV series by herself. I had no problem with that, especially since I wasn't able to watch with her anymore. However, she kept spoiling me things. Like, we were talking and she said, "Oh, and do you know what happened to this character?" Major spoiler. Or even worse, I returned home and she ran to me, all excited, spoiling me new episode of one of the series we used to watch together. I know she isn't doing it out of malice. It's just that when she's excited about something, the whole world has to know about it too. She just isn't able to keep things to herself. I talked with her about how I don't like her spoiling things for me, especially since she sees most of series before me. She tried to respect that, but it's just impossible for her. Recently, I got angry and changed my Netflix password, making it impossible for her to watch. I told her if she'll start to pay her share or buy an account for herself, then she's free to watch again, but I don't want things to be spoiled for me for my own money. She says I'm an as I am aware of the fact she doesn't have enough money, though she has enough to pay for half of my fee or even buy her own account. She told our mother about everything and Mum says I should be happy that my sister enjoys herself and don't be childish about stupid things like that. Maybe I overreacted and should give her my password back? But I really hate watching movies or TV series with knowledge how they end. Am I the Am I wrong for exposing my cousin's creepy husband to my entire family? I, 22 female, met my cousin's husband, 24 female and 26 male, last July for their wedding. They live several states away, so in addition to meeting him for the first time, it was also the first time I had seen my cousin in a few years. I instantly got a bad vibe from him and he made several comments that rubbed me the wrong way. He told me I seemed like a wild child and said he would bet I'm a bad girl at my college. Since meeting him, he has followed me on Instagram and sporadically sends me reels, which I don't open, and comments odd things on my posts like, "Looking good cousin." He even DM'd me once, "Hey, I'll be in your state this weekend on business, LOL," which I never opened either. All of this definitely creeped me out, but I didn't feel like I could say anything about it because my cousin and I aren't close, and I've always felt like she looks down on me because she is a devout Christian and I am not. Fast forward to this week, one of those fake accounts on Instagram popped up with some of my pictures asking for money for X-rated pictures. The bio was in broken English, the pictures were poorly cropped screenshots of my two most recent posts, and the Cash App was random string of numbers and letters. The account just looked very fake and many of my friends sent it to me and reported the account. Of course, the one person who apparently fell for it was my cousin's husband. I then got a very long, nasty DM from my cousin telling me she had been very tolerant of my sinful lifestyle, whatever that means, but this time I had gone too far. She said she didn't care that we were family, and so long as I was posing a threat to her marriage, I was no longer welcome in their lives. I calmly and politely responded that this account was not me and that I had already reported the account to Instagram to be taken down, and I apologized for the apparent disruption to her day. She responded that she didn't believe me and said she pities me for having such low self-esteem and would keep me in her prayers. I lost it at this point. I called her stupid for falling for an account that was so obviously fake and said that her husband was such a blatant creep it was embarrassing she even married him. I sent screenshots of the months of DMs from him that I never responded to and concluded by saying, "If your marriage is so easily threatened, get a divorce. Don't take your insecurities out on me." Shortly after, I got angry phone calls from my mom and my grandma saying my cousin made an honest mistake and that my response was cruel and unjustified. Apparently, my cousin showed everyone our messages and is humiliated by what I said. My mom is worried our relationship with that side of the family is permanently damaged, and now I may not be welcome at future family gatherings because my grandmama doesn't want the drama. I really don't feel like my response was out of line, but since no one else agrees with me, I'm not sure. So, am I the AH? Am I wrong for not being a good neighbor? The house next door to mine, 40-year-old male, just sold. I'd been in my house for 5 years and barely knew the neighbor I had prior to him selling. Today, my new neighbors were moving furniture into the house while I was on my front steps smoking a cigarette. One of the new owners, 50s male, approached me and told me he saw me sitting outside the other day and was saddened I didn't introduce myself or welcome them to the neighborhood. I responded with, "I've been here 5 years and I don't even know the name of the guy who you bought the house from. Sorry, I'm not overly social." He then mentioned how he likes to get to know all of his neighbors, and since I live next door, I am definitely on that list. He also mentioned that since I'm sitting outside, a good neighbor would offer to help them move furniture inside, especially since I appeared to not be overly busy. Annoyed at this point, I informed him that I was under no obligation to be volunteered to move furniture, let alone craft a friendship with someone simply because I live next to him. I thanked him for stopping by and started to walk inside. He yelled at me, "Don't ask me for anything in the future if that's how you want to treat people." I responded with, "I've managed thus far without you." Am I the AH for not going out of my way to welcome someone in my neighborhood and help them move their shit in?